News Radio Wham 1180 welcomes you to Ask the Experts. No matter what the topic, we've assembled the most knowledgeable people in Rochester to answer your questions. It's Ask the Experts on News Radio Wham 1180.
I'm Joel DeMonico. Welcome to Ask the Experts. I have no idea where I am, but we're going to tell you where we are. You know, have you driven by some neighborhoods in Rochester and you look at the buildings and you see that they're still in use, and you know they probably did something in their history, but now they've been repurposed and something else very exciting is happening on the inside? Well, that's exactly what you're going to find at 16 Lakeview Park, which is off of Lake Avenue. It is called EnCompass Resource for Learning. And that is where we are today. And we are going to be finding out what is happening in this, what I think is an older building here, maybe an historic building here in the city of Rochester, and what's happening to the young people and the mentors that are working with them inside here. We have Jordan Simaluka, who is the Communication and Development Manager. Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
And we have Cameron Hall here, who is a future-ready navigator, and you're going to have to tell me what that is going to mean. So, Cameron, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, so we'll get to you in a second, but I want to start with just the building. Where am I? What is this building? I've driven past this neighborhood dozens of times and looked up and said, well, there's a big red brick building up off Lake Avenue here, and I kind of see it, and buses come in and out of here, but I don't know what goes on in here. Tell us more.
Yeah, so there's two parts of the building, actually. If you see the big house-like building, that is pretty historic. We even have a plaque out front with all the details. It's been here for a long time, and actually Shinola Shoe Shine was the original, the original person to live here and built it. But then the nuns from Sisters of St. Joseph came in and they built this very large building. And so this is where the nuns used to live for Nazareth Academy. So right across in the same parking lot is Nazareth, where Nazareth Academy was for many years. And then we took this building over from them. Let's see, about 10 years ago.
Okay. Has it always been used from its inception here as part of this education process, or has it been a developing mission that has happened here and you've been able to grow and add to it and kind of, I assume you fill up the whole space?
We do fill up the whole space. So it always, honestly, the Sisters of St. Joseph didn't allow us to purchase the building without promising that we would continue their mission of education. So that's what we do. We want to educate and give students of Rochester the tools to be successful in their education.
But is this a school?
It is not.
Okay. So tell me about the function that happens here, that you're bringing students from many places here. And okay, so that's part one. Part two, when they get here, what is the purpose of their mission while they're in this building?
Yeah. So we actually, EnCompass has, we serve 2,400 students every year in the city of Rochester. With that being said, in this building, we bring in 6th through 12th graders. We have after school for them and then summer learning. And so we provide year-round programming, and we are focused on, we offer tutoring with certified teachers, but then we offer career and college enrichments year-round for students. So, and we have navigators, which Cam will hear more about that are working with students one-on-one to figure out, what is that pathway? Every student has different challenges and different interests, and, what do they need in order to be successful?
So this is an add-on then, or a supplement for some students to what they're going to get with their peers and in their classrooms in other schools. Precisely. How do you identify the students that can best benefit? How are they brought to you? Yeah,
so we do a lot of recruitment within schools. We go in, we see students, we say, hey, are you looking for a place? Do you want some, do you want guidance? Are you excited about your future? Like, do you want to start that journey with us? And I mean, this is not a mandatory program. Students come in after school if they want to. And usually they do, because it's a welcoming environment. It's, the navigators want to get to know students. Students get to meet other students from, 50 different schools in Rochester. So maybe you don't, you only go to school with your peers. you get to meet all different students when you come here.
That's fantastic that they're bringing in such a diverse student population, because you really can get very narrow focused about those young people like you that you see in classroom. Then you might think, well, there's nobody like me. Then you come to a place like EnCompass and you find that you're not alone, that you like certain things or your aptitudes for certain things, and that can be a very empowering thing for a young person to see that they're not doing this just in a vacuum somewhere.
Yeah, precisely. Students actually say remarks like that pretty regularly. It's a place with like-minded teens that, they want jobs and they are excited about their future. We also provide job training and placement through something called Free Academy. These students are motivated. They're excited. They are shining stars.
I like to hear that, because far too often young people, especially teenagers, and we're going to be talking more about that population as the program goes on, kind of get the rap of they're not motivated. Millennials and younger generations, they don't have that same work ethic. And what will become of the future if when they're adults and they're the ones that are supposed to be taking on the sort of the torch and carrying it forward? It is very refreshing that from your perspective that you see that there is, in fact, an interest. I would imagine you're also turning people away. You've got up to, 2,400 kids that you serve. I would imagine you're kind of at your capacity point at this stage, right?
So we serve 2,400 students, and that's not just with Future Ready. So Future Ready has about 600 to 700 students in it usually annually. That's a lot of students. We're not at capacity yet this year, so we've got lots of room for students to come in. But we also serve elementary students. We do after school at 5 different elementary schools across Rochester. We are serving students through a program called Family Navigation, which works with a student's entire family to make sure that they're supported and have resources. So, what we like to say is we do the cradle to career pathway. So that's, we want to see students from maybe their babies, and all the way up. We want to be able to give them the support and resources they need to be successful.
And that's Jordan Simaluka, who's the Communications and Development Manager for EnCompass Resources for Learning. You may have driven right by the building and never knew what was going on inside. And we're just peeling back just a little bit of the onion to tell you what is happening in here. You can learn more at encompassresources.org. And really take a deep dive, if you would like, to see what's going on. We're going to bring Cameron Hall into the conversation now because you are a future-ready navigator. Before we talk about what it is you do, how'd you hear about this place?
Same as you. I was driven by and seeing this building. I'm like, all right, what is EnCompass? What is it about? And then I had some, family, relatives, and friends that work for this company. And I was like, all right, I need to figure out what's going on. Mm-hmm. So I applied. I've been here for a little over a year now.
Okay.
And it's been probably the best job I've ever had.
What's your background? Was your background education? Did you think you were going to wind up working with young students, or was there some other path and this one kind of kicked you off in some other direction?
No, since I was a teenager, I knew that I was meant to work with kids. Okay. I worked with the RCSD and with Greece School District for about a total of 16 years.
Wow.
I know I look very young, but so it's
yes, you do. But it's interesting to think that when you were not too far removed from that population that you wanted to serve, you thought to yourself, I want to stay with this group. Yeah. And I would imagine, do you find that this group of students and the age group that you're working with is like, there's always something new to discover about them and always some new experience that you can help them understand that they're not having for the first time?
Absolutely. I feel like with me, it's like a give and take. Like as they're learning, I'm learning as well. You get different experiences, you get different moments, you get those different times where you're talking to them and it's like, wow. And it's like you see the difference between our generation and their generation and how different it is and how even more stressful at times it is. And then that's where we come in as navigators. We help them get through that stress, whatever it is.
Okay, we're going to put a pin in that because we've got to take a break, and we're going to come back and we're talking about what the future-ready navigators do. We're going to talk more about the students we're here, and we're also going to let you know a way that you can show your generosity to a group of students and a group of kids, teenagers within the Rochester community who often get overlooked. We're going to tell you what it's about and how to do it when we come back and talk more about EnCompass Resources for Learning with Cameron Hall and Jordan Simaluka, and we'll be back for more Ask the Experts next on News Radio Wham 1180. Welcome back to Ask the Experts. I'm Joel DeMonico. We are at EnCompass Resources for Learning here in Rochester. It's off of Lake Avenue. It's on Lakeview Park. Found out it was the Shinola building earlier in the show. Okay, they owned it. Then the sisters had it for Nazareth Academy, and now this organization has it. And they are working with about 2,400 students, their families, annually with innovative cradle-to-career pathways, a supplement to what their coursework is teaching them in schools. This is not a school. This is a supplement to school. And they're getting a chance to work basically one-on-one with future-ready navigators like Cameron Hall, who is one of our guests here today. Cameron, I want to talk about what the future-ready navigators are doing. And you're working with a diverse range of students, even from 6th grade to 12th grade. That's not a lot of years, but developmentally, socially, what they need to supplement their school path and potential career paths are vastly different. So as a future-ready navigator, what do you see as your role? Let's start there about what you're doing. And then let's also talk about some of the things that you're doing maybe with your 6th graders as opposed to your 12th graders to help them move along that path.
Yeah. So as a teacher, you're told not to use the word in the definition, but as a future-ready navigator, we're navigating to kids to be ready for their future.
That's okay.
So
it's like what does milk taste like? It tastes like milk.
Yeah. This is a lifetime partnership where we're working with them, like Jordan said, from cradle to their careers. So even as adults, we're helping them, get a job, or we're helping them in college, or we're mentoring. We're doing school visits. We're going into the school, checking in. Hey, how are you doing? We're making sure that their academics is great, and also their social emotional health is great. So we do enrichments, we do activities, we go on trips, we expose them to new and great things that we have in the city. For example, we took them to the Corning Museum of Glass last year, and they had a great experience. They're like, wow, I've never been before. So we're opening up their eyes to new and different things. We want them to see what's out there.
So this is beyond academics, really?
Yes.
Okay, so academics is certainly a part of it, and you want them to succeed in the classroom.
Right.
But being a successful person is about a conglomeration, an entire picture. And for some of these students, I would imagine they may feel a little lost when it comes to bringing that picture into focus. They're not 100% sure. And especially, let's talk about just 6th graders. They're starting to come into their own when they come into middle school and may have no idea about what they think their personal identity is.
Right. Yeah, we have those discussions. We have like those nights where because the program for the enrichment activity goes from like 4:30 to 6:30. So we might have a discussion about that. We might, have a social emotional learning discussion where we're talking about identity. We're talking about, who are you? I asked a student that last week. I was like, who are you? And the student couldn't answer me, and she's in 9th grade now. So it's like starting out in middle school. So I love that we start in middle school so we can get them to know who they are before they get to high school, and then before they get to college, and before they get to the real life.
Not only that, but would you say to be comfortable with who they are and to feel confident with who they are? Because that, I think, at that age, and I do remember it's been a long time, but I was that age once, is having the confidence to feel the way you feel about yourself and see yourself the way you are instead of letting the external be more impactful. I would say that that's far more important than for them long term than maybe what they're learning in their classroom setting.
Absolutely. And then just to go into like the high school portion. So the middle school is more about the enrichments, the activities, like we said, social emotional learning, identity. High school is more about, getting them ready for college. So we have a college coordinator who works with the FAFSA, gets that started for them. She works with the scholarship. She works with them getting accepted to schools. We have a 100% graduation rate.
100%?
100%. And let's be honest with the city, there's about a 50% graduation rate for the city as a whole, but we have 100%. So all of our seniors that go to this program, they graduate and go into college.
Do you think that that's because they choose to be here? And that they've got an extra motivation, and that's a great catalyst, to use a science term. Now they have the guidance to take that energy and move it in the right place. I would suspect, as for some, especially when they get into those teen years and into the latter part of high school, that there's a lot of just we've got to get you through this. We've got to get you out the other side. And it's hard in education, I would imagine, for teachers to stop down and say, look, I can let everyone else go for a minute and I need to focus on you.
Right.
That may be a little bit challenging, but you in your role here and what EnCompass does is kind of help to fill in that gap to make sure that those kids don't get falling through the cracks.
Yeah, I'll say that's exactly what we are. We're space fillers. We're guiders. We're their map. We're their way to figure out, what is life? Like, what am I supposed to do with my life? So, again, back to what I started with, we're navigating and getting them ready for their future and getting them ready to really become, their best selves, and to help and for them to make an impact on their community as we're doing here. So it's a lot of great things going on.
All right. That's Cameron Hall. He's a future ready navigator for EnCompass Resources for Learning. They work with kids 6th grade to 12th grade. Jordan Simaluka is the communications and development manager here. We want to come back to you because we want to talk about the teens here for just a moment, and we're going to spend a little bit of time on them. That's a group that unfortunately winds up getting, I think, overlooked sometimes. When we look at elementary and middle school kids, sometimes they tend to pull the focus, and let's be honest, they're cuter. And then they get into the high school era. Everything for them changes. And so let's first of all talk about a little bit what EnCompass has been able to do to really help take all of those changes and make them more manageable.
Yeah. I think something that I just think that Future Ready and EnCompass is a safe place where, you touched on coming into your own, right? Or like it feels safe to do that here. So all of those changes are happening, and you come here and you can be yourself, and you, like, Cam touched on, you can be your best self here. So there may be negative things happening in the news, right, of like, teens are getting into trouble, or there aren't those positive stories, but here, that's all that there is. There are positive stories constantly. There's, our teens are doing amazing things.
That's got to be frustrating, I would suspect, for teenagers who may see that they get, especially if they live in the city of Rochester or they're part of the city of Rochester School District, that they wind up getting this rap of being like, so goes one, so go them all. Yeah. Number one. Number two, they might think, well, I'm doing everything that I can, and I'm pushing that stone up a hill, and every day it rolls right back to the bottom, and I have to start all over again. And that can be a lot of stress for a young person, a teenager, to have to deal with when they're still trying to figure out who they are for themselves and how they're going to navigate their young lives.
Absolutely. I imagine that would be incredibly frustrating. And again, that's why, you come in here, we don't treat you like, you're up to something, up to trouble, up to no good. We treat you like the incredible young people that you are. They are, like, we've said, they're shining stars, and we treat them as such, and they deserve it. They have earned that. So we, that's another role. We're their cheerleaders. We're telling them, you are incredible. You have incredible potential, and they know that.
Cameron, do you ever get the sense when you say that or treat those students like that sometimes they're hearing it for the very first time?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can you see it in not only how they react to you, but how they then come back in day after day and continue to move along with you as they continue along the path, whatever path that happens to be?
One thing I will say about this generation, they're very transparent. They're going to tell you how they feel. They're going to tell you what's going on in their lives, and then you figure out from there how can you best support them.
And it's good that they do that. My generation was not like that, and it was very much like, okay, well, you just got to figure out a way to deal with it on your own. Maybe it is encouraging that there is transparency. Maybe that's the one thing social media has done to a younger generation that I can consider to be a good thing. That has made them be maybe a lot more open about themselves, so that others can come in and say, look, I see you're struggling here. You've said you're struggling here. Well, let's figure out a path forward. And we've talked so much, we have to take another break. But when we come back, we want to talk more about this teen group. And we want to talk about the upcoming holidays because there's a program going on I want you to be aware of where you can help. Something so small, something very small, can make a large impact for a young person that you may never meet. And we're going to come back and tell you how you can do that. Our guests are from EnCompass Resources for Learning. We have Cameron Hall and Jordan Simaluka, and we are back for more Ask the Experts next on News Radio WHAM 1180. Thanks for hanging with us. This is the second half of Ask the Experts on News Radio WHAM 1180. We are at EnCompass Resources for Learning here in Rochester off of Lake Avenue, Lakeview Park. It's a red brick building. You may have driven past it. You may not have known what was going on inside, but we have been sort of peeling back what's been happening here to the students that they serve throughout 50 different Rochester schools in grades 6 through 12. Over 2,400 students, families have found ways to have resources that supplement what they are learning with their classes, what they interact with in their peer group, finding them ways to come into their own and to build successful careers and paths forward. Whatever that happens to look like, it's all individual. Now, the reason that we are here today is that we found out about this program that they are doing. Started a couple of years ago, your Future Ready Holiday. So, Jordan, I want you to talk a little bit more about this program. Usually around the holiday time, there's a lot of calls for community generosity, if you will. So, what is this program? You've got a couple of years under your belt right now, so tell us about it.
Yeah, so this is one of our favorite times for people to give. Future Ready Holiday. Teens can be overlooked this time of year. A lot of the littles are focused on, which is wonderful. They need that magic, but so do our teens.
You don't outgrow magic.
You never outgrow magic.
You never outgrow because, and a teenager might not tell you that, but you can see it.
Oh, you want that present under the tree.
Absolutely, you do.
So, and as we've said, our students are like they deserve it. I mean, every child does, but our students, we want to make sure they feel the love, and we want to give our community that opportunity to show them they're cared for. They're not forgotten. So Future Ready Holiday gives that opportunity. We collect sponsors from the community. And at the same time, we are collecting wish lists from our teens. So they get to fill out their wish list with, gifts. We give them that $100 range because, even still, we'll get some awesome requests, that new iPhone.
Sure wouldn't I too?
Yeah, same. But yeah, they fill out their wish list. They tell, a little bit about themselves, what they want to be, what their current aspirations are, for their future, something, maybe a goal they're working towards, something that's been tough, their favorite color, their favorite candy, so that you can get to know them a little bit, so that you can go out and successfully shop for them.
So this is a way for, again, this goes back to what Cameron was talking about earlier about the transparency of a younger generation. They want to get to know you. I think many of us, in my age range, might look at, younger people tend to either confuse or scare me sometimes. I live by a high school, so I kind of see them all the time, and I go like, I either don't know anything about you, or I'm just going to walk in the opposite direction from you. But when you get right down to it, though, they're just smaller versions of you that haven't figured out as many things about life that you may have figured out. Let's say not 100% figured out, but maybe you figured out. So really, this is a way, I think, for the general community to not only provide a wonderful service and a wonderful gift, but also to know that they're just like you or your kids. They're no different. They just don't live with you.
Precisely. And something I will say is that, it's been going on for the last several years. We have the majority of people that are signing up as sponsors have been signing up since the first year. They come back for it year after year because it's heartwarming. And like you said, it's fun. It's fun to get to know this teen. You're never going to meet them, but you do get to see like, oh my gosh, they are funny. And, they always leave a thank you note. So it's like, thank you so much. I know you don't know me, but this means so much to me, and then we've had teens say, the Christmas in my house is for 10 and under. I haven't had a gift in several years. So we love to bring that. Like we said, it's great for the community and it's incredible for our kids.
And it's such a small thing, but the impact that can have is it's unquantifiable, I think, especially when we talk about a family like, well, Christmas in my house is just for the little kids. And then it's like, you're going to keep a stiff upper lip maybe about it and saying, well, it doesn't bother me. But, it might a little bit to know that you had to leave it behind, and there's no reason why you have to feel like you leave everything behind. And even in a path to career or a path through education, you don't have to leave something behind because of your life circumstance.
Right.
How can we get involved with this so that we can not only get a chance to meet some of these incredible students, but also to say, look, I would like to supply part of this wish list, please?
Yeah, we would absolutely love that. We have a website set up. It's a Google form, super easy. You just fill out your information, and then there's nothing to buy when you sign up. It's you sign up, and then we'll send you your list on November 20th. So tomorrow. So get those, get signed up.
Okay, go.
Yes.
So, and is this a program that historically you've wind up getting as many sponsors as you need, or is there always more kids than maybe the need is there for? Are you at that sweet spot yet, or do we need to do a little extra?
Yeah. We can always use more sponsors.
Absolutely.
Always. In the past, we have had some stipulations. We've asked students, to make sure that you attend programs. But this year we're saying, come on in. We want to give every student possible that is a part of our program. We want to supply them with a gift this year.
Okay.
So bring it on.
All right. Very easy. So can they go just to the main website and find it, or is there an additional place where people have to go, follow you on social media? How are people going to wind up just going right on their phone right this very minute because you're thinking about it? I know you're thinking about it. Just go ahead and click and make that donation.
Yeah. So we do have a Bit.ly, which is super easy. It's BIT.
I can tell you because I have it written down here. Here we go. It is bit.ly/FR-holiday. Now, that is the link that you're going to use to be part of the gift giving program. So you will meet the students. You'll be shopping for a particular student. When you see their bio and their wish list, you'll see a photo as well to be able to get to know them a little bit. So that is bit.ly/FR-holiday. The bios and everything will come out tomorrow, so you have time to shop. And the gifts are dropped off by December 15th to make sure that they can be delivered in time for the holidays. Now, let's say you don't... that's not your thing, but you would like to make sure that there's funding available to help gifts be purchased. There is a different one for that. That is, get your pens handy, bit.ly/FR-gift fund. And that goes to sort of a general fund, because I would imagine, as we mentioned earlier, there are needs that are going to exist, and you hope that you get enough, people that are going to go child for child that participate in this. But certainly a little extra doesn't hurt, now does it?
Yeah, no, it's the gift fund is hugely helpful because like you said, not everybody, sometimes shopping. I know for me, I love to shop, but that's not everyone's same sentiment. So we understand that and appreciate any help in that you can supply.
Look, you're already on your phone. That's how you shop anyways, folks. So, all right, I just want to remind you again before we take our final break here. This is how the holiday gift will work. If you would like to buy for a specific student, you're going to meet them virtually, learn a little bit about them, and see their wish list. Easy to do, and I've done this. You can type it right in. It's super simple on your phone. bit.ly/FR-holiday. You'll receive your teen's holiday wish list tomorrow and learn a little bit about them as well. And then gifts are to be delivered by December 15th to make sure that they can get out to the students. If you would like to contribute to the general fund, that is a different link. It is bit.ly/FR-gift fund. So if you'd rather do it that way, both of them are available. They are open right now on the holiday wish list, though. You got to get in today. So while you're listening right now, you're probably on the iHeartRadio app anyway, so you can just click over your browser and you can just type that in and take care of it while you finish listening to the show, or head over to the Gift Fund site. We will remind you of this link again in the last part of our show. So, holiday season is upon us. This may be the time that you're turning your sights to, how am I going to find a way to be generous to the community? This is a perfect way for you to do it, and to make sure that that age group, which is so often overlooked throughout the year, but maybe a little bit more noticeable during the holiday time, when you can help put a smile on somebody's face, even though they won't meet you, but you're going to feel good, and they're going to feel good too. We're going to take our final break and come back to wrap things up on this Ask the Experts. We are at EnCompass, Resources for Learning, with Jordan Simaluka and Cameron Hall, and we will be back to talk with these guys for a little more next on News Radio WHAM 1180. I'm Joe LaMonaco. Thanks for staying with us for Ask the Experts. We have a little more time to spend at EnCompass, Resources for Learning. That's where we have been today. And we have been talking about not only the programs they offer here, but their incredible group of students. They serve kids from 50 different Rochester schools in grades 6 through 12. That's about 2,400 students, not only the kids, their families as well. It is an incredible resource. We want to bring Cameron Hall back in, who is their Future Ready Navigator. Well, one of. How many people on the team? How many Future Ready Navigators do you think you have here?
We have 3 middle school navigators and we have 4 high school. And then we have a college coordinator, then we have a career readiness coordinator as well.
Okay, so you got a team. Okay,
yes.
you got a good front 7 going on there. For students that are coming into this program, is it linked to the school year, or can a student, when they are ready, wind up finding their way into a program if they choose? How does that whole process work?
They can sign up at any point in the school year. We just want them to, if they need help, come get help. That's really what it is about.
Okay.
Each navigator can have up to 60 to 65 students on their caseload. They could come in. We'll contact them. We'll mentor them. We'll help them. We'll guide them. We have tutoring. This program is absolutely free.
Okay.
So not often you find a program that offers all that we do for absolutely free.
So it's not linked necessarily to, if you're coming in September, you're going to stay for the school year. Do you wind up with students that may come in and out based on their need and based on their situation?
Absolutely. You know, it's definitely on a needs basis. You know, because we have a lot of kids playing sports, they have jobs. Right. So when you got all that going on in life, we say, hey, we'll still be here regardless of what you're doing.
But I would imagine you find students that are like, they don't want to have other distractions. They just want to be here. I would imagine you've got kids that look forward all day while they're sitting in school to the couple hours that they get a chance to spend here.
Absolutely. I feel like we've established a community and kind of like a family where it's like everybody's gets along. There's no drama. There might be a little bit of drama, but you know, kids
they are teenagers.
Let's be honest.
Okay?
But I mean, I feel like when they come here, it's like their time just to take a breath.
Yeah, and sometimes I would imagine that can be some of the greatest the greatest gift that you can give to a teen. Because I remember how amped up life seemed to me at that point in time. And sometimes you just need a little quiet or just a chance for you to pause, because you think that everything is running at 100 miles an hour. And maybe that's the greatest thing that you can do for this group is just give them a place to say, look, we're gonna have just a little quiet time, and then we're gonna focus, and then you're gonna feel great after you're done. It's like coming out of a workout. You feel like like you've done something and you've achieved something, but you needed the right environment to do it.
And I mean, that leads right into, hey, we're still taking students in.
Okay.
We still, like I said, each navigator has to have at least 60, 65 students on their caseload. We're still enrolling. Again, you can go to our website, encompassresources.org, click on the Future Ready tab, and then we'll contact you and let you know that you're in the program. We'll ask you questions, figure out what you need help with. And that's, we're ready for you. We're ready for all students.
They can take on more. Come on, this team can take on more. Yeah. Okay, so that is EnCompass, EnCompass, resources.org. Look for the Future Ready tab on that, and you can come. Maybe you can be on Team Cameron or something like that. Maybe come in and have Cameron be your Future Ready Navigator. And then also we're going to make things simple. We talked about it in the last break, and we're going to make things simple. Go to encompassresources.org. And you're going to find a banner head right on the top. We talked about the holiday giving program. So rather than do that bit thing, you can, if you're savvy, go ahead. You got the address. Go ahead and do it. But Jordan, we want to talk again about this program because we have a deadline for one of them that's coming up tomorrow.
Yes.
If you want to target a specific student, meet them virtually, get a photo, a little bio, and their wish list. They've got to do that because now all that stuff's going out tomorrow. So if they go to EnCompassResources.org, they can get in on that holiday giving. Just remind people what that program is and how you want them to get involved.
Yeah. So again, you'll get matched. You sign up as a sponsor, you get matched with a teen's wish list. Also, if there are any teens listening and you get signed up for Future Ready, that means you get to make a wish list.
Yeah.
Another awesome perk. So you fill out your wish list, and sponsors will get said wish list tomorrow. And then you can either ship your gifts, you can drop them off at EnCompass just by December 15th so that then we can give them out to students. It's a ton of fun. You feel warm and fuzzy, which is great. And you know that you're making a student's holiday that much brighter and happier.
It's $100 limit on the list. So don't think this is a big thing if you're thinking about doing it. There's also a general gift fund if you would choose to do a different route. If you don't want to do it to a particular student, the gift fund is available, and it's a great safety net for EnCompass to have to make sure that as many kids, hopefully all the kids, wind up getting something off of their wish list. And again, the wish lists go out tomorrow, so if you'd like to do a specific child, make sure you jump over to the site today at EnCompassResources.org and look for that banner head. It's simple. If you'd like to do the gift fund, though, they can do that anytime between now and December 15th when all the gifts need to be delivered, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so we have just a couple more minutes to spend here. Last thing, I'm gonna give each of you 60 seconds. So Jordan, we'll start with you. What do you want this community to know about not only what happens here, but the benefits that can be achieved from a couple hours every day working with the team here that I don't even know if we're going to be able to. It would take years to be able to study it. But what do you want them to know about the benefit that can happen with just this little bit of time that these kids get to spend here?
Yeah, of course. So what pops into my head right away is the whole child approach. In order for a student to be truly successful, they need to feel supported in all aspects of life. So if that's urgent needs. Maybe you need help with your school uniform, or, you need help getting food on the table. We'll help you with that. If you need help tutoring, if you're struggling in, math or science, we have tutors here that are prepared to help you with that. If you need help finding a job, if your family needs support, we have family navigation. We're looking at the whole child. We're looking at every part of them, and how can we help each child be their best selves and be successful.
And Cameron Hall, a Future Ready navigator, what do you want? You knew you wanted to work with kids for a long time. What do you want people who might think I don't know if I've got anything to share with a younger generation? Because I would suspect more Future Ready navigators could always be in the future here. Mm-hmm. What do you want them to know about the gifts that person could have that they could share with a young person?
I think for me, I live by one motto: it takes a village. Like you hear that old saying is it takes a community of people to really help these kids and teenagers really make it through life. And even for parents out there, they might say, I don't have all the answers, I need help. Boom, that's where we come in. So it's like for those that might are thinking about working with kids and want to figure out that what way they can do that, I think this is a great option. You get to be like the behind the scenes person.
Yeah, you get to be the cool uncle. Kinda. Right. Yeah, it's kind of like being the cool uncle, right? Okay, we are out of time. So Cameron Hall, Future Ready Navigator, thank you very much for your time. It was great to meet you. Jordan Simaluka, Communications and Development Manager for EnCompass Resources for Learning. Thank you very much. To all of the young people out there who are going to be helped by this program for the holiday giving, Merry Christmas to you. And go to EnCompass, EnCompass ssresources.org to be a part of not only what's happening here in this building every day, but also the holiday fund, because now is a perfect time for you to share your generosity with this community. I'm Joe LaMonaco. Thanks for spending time with us this weekend. We will catch up with you again for another Ask the Experts on News Radio WHAM 1180.